Well, the orange monster is at it again. Trump, there's several things that, in the midst of all this chaos, our orange monster blowhard has decided to move forward with a plan to end wild bird protections. So this article is from PBS, and it says the Trump administration moved forward Friday with plans to scale back a century-old law protecting most American wild bird species, despite warnings that billions of birds could die as a result. Officials said in a draft study of the proposal that it could result in more deaths of birds that land in oil pits or collide with power lines and other structures. More than 1,000 species are covered under the law, and the changes have drawn a sharp backlash from organizations representing an estimated 46 million United States bird watchers. The study did not put a number on how many more birds could die, but said that some vulnerable species could decline to the point where they would require protection under the Endangered Species Act. Former U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services Director Dan Ash and independent scientists have said the change could cause a huge spike in bird deaths, potentially billions of birds in coming decades, at a time when species across North America are already in a steep decline. This proposal would end the government's decades-long practice of treating accidental bird deaths caused by industry as potential criminal violations under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Industry sources kill an estimated 450 million to 1.1 billion birds annually out of an overall 7.2 billion bird population in North America, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The 1918 Migratory Bird Law came after many U.S. bird populations had been decimated by hunting and poaching, much of it for feathers and women's hats. It was one of the country's first federal environmental laws, enacted just after the conservation movement emboldened by President Teddy Roosevelt. Now, there's a very good, one of the best American presidents there. Teddy Roosevelt had emerged as a new force in American politics. That's the kind of president we need today. Instead, we got the blowhard. Over the past half century, as new threats to birds have emerged, the law was applied against companies that failed to prevent feasible bird deaths, such as oil companies that did not put netting over toxic waste pits, despite warnings from federal officials. However, the Trump administration has said the deaths of birds that fly into oil pits, mining sites, telecommunication towers, wind turbines, and other hazards should be treated as accidents. A final decision is expected following a 45-day public comment period. A Department of the Interior legal decision in 2017 had already effectively ended criminal enforcement under the act during Trump's presidency. The pending proposal would cement that interpretation into law, into government regulation, thus making it harder to reverse by subsequent administrations. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife officials said the proposal is meant to match up with the 2017 legal decision. We believe that is the only viable alternative in line with this legal conclusion. National Audubon Society President David Yarnold said the administration was ignoring the potential devastation to some species from scaling back protections and siding with corporations over the environment. And this quote I love here. While America is in turmoil, the Trump administration is continuing its relentless war on nature. 8 states led by New York and numerous conservation groups, including Audubon, have challenged the 2017 decision in U.S. District Court. They contend birds already are being harmed by the administration's policies, most noticeably in the destruction last fall of nesting grounds for 25,000 shorebirds in Virginia to make way for a road and tunnel project. State officials had ended conservation measures for the birds and after federal officials advised such measures were voluntary under the new interpretation of the law. The highest profile enforcement case brought under the Migratory Bird Act resulted in a $100 million settlement by BP after the Gulf of Mexico oil spill in 2010 killed approximately 100,000 birds. Federal courts have been split on whether companies can be prosecuted, with appeals courts ruling in favor of the industry 3 times and siding against the companies twice. So this is not the only thing that Trump has done today. He's decided to, oh, you got to be kidding me. They won't let me read it. Let's try this one. All 3 articles I get blocked from reading. Trump is allowing commercial fishing. Let's see if this one will work. In a marine conservation area. So here he is saying he's speaking during a roundtable discussion with commercial fishermen. So, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I can't even tell you. I'll just give you the links and you can try reading it on your own. Hold on a second. I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm really getting tired of this, folks. You know, we have a right to read the news and know what's going on. Hang on a minute. We're going to try incognito and see if this works. I mean, I can't read any of the articles on this. So obviously the media doesn't want people to know that this is happening, I guess. Let's try it this way. So basically, Trump is allowing commercial fishing in a marine conservation area. He's rolling back protections Friday if the New England coast, signing an order to allow commercial fishing in a stretch of water where fishermen have long harvested lobsters and crabs. We are reopening the Northeast canyons to commercial fishing, Trump told a roundtable meeting. This guy makes me sick. He makes me sick. This is a conservation area. Oh, boy. Screw you, Boston Herald. They won't even let me read it. It's unbelievable. There's a big cover-up going on. They don't want you knowing what's going on. What the president is doing. Obama established this area, and Trump is reversing it. This is unbelievable. This freaking blowhard. I'm telling you. You know, I'm sick of these newspapers doing this. I'm sick of this. People have a right to know what's going on, and they're trying to hide from people. It's not right. It's not right. Not right at all. Well, I guess I won't be able to read you that article. Here are the links here. I'll give you. You can see the links below. Basically, Trump is lifting a ban on commercial fishing at an ocean sanctuary off New England. And all of these, for some reason, I've clicked all of them, and they all put up the blocker. They don't want you knowing what's going on, I guess, as this president continues to dismantle the environmental protections. But I will read this. New Jersey's done. I'll give Phil Murphy credit for this, and that is New Jersey is becoming the first state to incorporate climate change in the K-12 curriculum. That's very good. I'm glad. New Jersey is, of course, being affected by climate change more than any other of the states in this country. But Trump, this guy here is just a jerk. All right. Oh yeah. Here you go. Put this picture up here. This guy is just the worst president that this country has ever seen. All right. The worst, absolute worst for the environment. I don't know what's going on here. It's just worst president ever. I mean, look at all that's happened in this country. Not to mention he actually had the military push protesters away because he wanted a photo op. This is why I'm pissed with the lockdowns that Cuomo and Murphy is supporting, because this is going to turn people to support Trump. And we can't have that. We can't have 4 more years of Trump. The environment can't afford it. This country can't afford it. Because the real guy, remember, Trump is the monster, all right? But the monster is being controlled by Kushner, all right? Jared Kushner. This guy right here, real snake, real creepy guy, globalist, elite scum. This is the man running the country right now, all right? And he only cares about Wall Street. Meanwhile, everything is falling apart, including the environment. So I forget I'd let you know about the latest attacks that President Trump is doing to the environment. All right? Trump is a complete disaster, which is why I'm so upset that we're seeing this lockdown here, continuing, these regulations continuing, because it's only going to turn people against Democrats. And we can't have that. We need people to be with the Democrats so we can defeat this egotistical monster of a president. The worst president in the history of this country is Donald Trump. I'm sorry if you don't agree with it, but that's what I'm saying. And there's no way I will be voting for him again. There is no way I will be voting for him again. Period. All right, after what he's done to the planet, after what he's done to this country, after the way he talks to people, this guy is a monster. And it's time he be out of the White House and in the slammer. That's it. Take care.